Okay, so I'm just going to share with you some things that we've learned from the Lord, some of His messages about the tribulation. And as you know, the Scripture says that, seek me and I'll show you things you do not know. It says that in Scripture. So Jesus says, knock and the door will be open, seek and you'll find, ask and you'll receive. So when that veil was torn, and anybody can enter into the throne of grace at any time to receive help in the time of need, as Paul talks about in Scripture, I personally believe that anybody can, depending on their level of faith and belief, can be as close to Jesus as they want to be. And I've heard the Lord say to other people, even in messages to them, that anybody can be as close to Jesus as they want to be. There is no limit to how close you can be to God. Jesus called His disciples friends because they were willing to do whatever He asked them to do. Revelation and what you can receive from God is limitless. Through His mercy, He's willing and wanting to pour out as much grace and to pour out as much revelation, and to give anybody whatever they can draw from Him. He's willing to give. There's no limit, and He's that good, So His mercy is endless, and His love is unfathomable. So, in saying all this, some of the things we've learned is that during the tribulation, we know that there are some people who God has called and ordained and prepared to stay behind and help in the tribulation. There are those who are supposed to stay behind. It's part of their calling. They're specially equipped to do this. I also know that Jesus also said to anybody who wants to stay behind in the tribulation, leave it up to Him to decide whether they want to stay and help in the tribulation or not, because one could very well lose their soul if you're not equipped for it and specially gifted for it, and you don't have the grace for it. He said to leave that decision up to Him. The other thing is that when it comes to martyrdom, we know that in the book of Revelation talks about how most of Christianity will be martyred, will be killed in either just before the tribulation or during the tribulation period. And I just want to explain to you, as frightening and scary as that sounds, Jesus is very merciful. He's very kind. And what happens is, what He's explained to us is, He said you'll experience extreme, unexplainable peace, even while you're walking with the executioner. If you refuse the mark of the beast, or refuse to serve the New World Order, He said, even while you're walking with the executioner, you'll receive extreme peace and a supernatural peace that will overtake you. And your peace will, just like Stephen, when Stephen was killed, in the Bible, when he was stoned to death, you'll encounter that peace, and you'll pray, Father, forgive them, they know not what they do. And you won't feel a thing when you're executed. According to the Lord, He said He'll already be starting to lift your spirit out of your body before you're even executed, so you won't feel it. And next thing you know, you'll be before His smiling face, facing Him. And the martyr's crown is the highest reward you can receive on earth. So, as the Scripture says, Jesus talks about how there's no love greater that any man can give than to give their own life. To give their own life for another person is the highest form of love, and it's necessary. It's necessary for us to go through persecution. It's necessary for some of us to be killed. In the very end, evil must seem to triumph over good, but ultimately it won't, but it'll seem like that. And we're walking in the valley of the shadow of death right now. The valley is this world, it's this dark world. The shadow of death is selfishness. Selfishness leads to death, death of the soul. And I think that's important to realize, because Jesus talks about we're in the end times, that he says the love of many will wax cold. Anybody who lives selfish lives will not likely enter heaven. But anybody who lives a life of sacrifice, a life of love and giving and preferring, doing things for other people, putting other people first, they're the ones that will receive the crowns. They're the ones that receive the rewards in heaven. They're the ones that will sit on thrones next to Jesus. And many of them were faithful with very little things, like housewives, even some children. And in the tribulation period, it'll be mostly women and children who are the greatest heroes on the earth. And these are those great warriors that will do greater works than Jesus ever did. Jesus said, because I go to the Father, you'll do greater works than me. And you wonder, how can that be possible? Because in this age, in the tribulation period, it'll be the darkest time ever on earth, way darker than the time that when Jesus walked the earth. And it requires the greatest amount of faith and the greatest amount of grace to endure these dark times. So I just want to share that, and I hope this is helpful to people. God bless you. Thank you for listening.